in 2009. Leeds are Super League's finest. Manley are Australia's best. Two worlds collide at Elland Road. It's the 2009 Carnegie World Club Challenge. You know, we might not be the best internationally, but over the past 10 years, British clubs have certainly had the better of things against their NRL counterparts. Super League clubs have won each of the last 5 World Club Challenges, and Leeds Rhinos and their fans go for history tonight. No team has ever retained the crown. Well, there's a massive crowd in here, and they are all breathing a sigh of relief because the little man, Rob Burrow, the little man with the biggest heart, is fit to play for the Leeds Rhinos. Steve-O, this is a huge boost for the British champions.
Certainly is, but it's also a huge gamble by Brian McLennan. It's been noted that perhaps he could have played a fortnight ago. Has he just been saving the little fella? But Rob Burrow and his battle tonight with Matt Orford. Two contrasting styles in many ways. Rob Burrow, opportunist, scoring the try. Matt Orford, the man that's so creative. The man who won the Best Player Award down in Australia last season, and let's not forget that his combination with Jamie Lyon in the two half-back positions certainly steered the Manley Warringah side to victory. Surprising for me that Des Hasler, the Manley coach, has decided to put Chris Bailey there at standoff when they had so much success with Lyon and Matt Orford.
Okay, it's a lovely night. This is the way the two teams line up. It's Lee Smith at full-back for Leeds. Then they go Scott Donald, Carl Ablett, Keith Senior and Ryan Hall, who I understand passed a fitness test only yesterday and will play here tonight. Danny Maguire is alongside Rob Burrow. That's the big news for Leeds. The forwards, Kylie Luluai, Mac Diskin and Jamie Peacock. Jamie Jones-Buchanan and Ian Kirk starts. Ali Lauatiti then will take his place on the bench, and Kevin Sinfield will play in his preferred position as loose forward. He's the captain. And on the bench, there is Lauatiti, Ryan Bailey, Luke Burgess, and this effervescent youngster, Callum Watkins. It could be his big night tonight. The coach is Brian McLennan. Now, the Manley Sea Eagles, Brett Stewart at fullback, Michael Robertson, Jamie Lyon, he needs no introduction from his time at St Helens, a former Man of Steel, Steve Matai, David Williams, Chris Bailey, and Matt Orford, the captain, best player in the NRL last year. Jason King, Mac Ballin and Josh Perry up front. It's Anthony Watmo and Glenn Hall in the second row, with Glenn Stewart, the brother of the fullback, at loose forward. And on the bench, it's Heath Lestrange, Shane Rodney, George Rose, and wearing 18 tonight. It's Shane Rodney, and wearing 15 tonight is Adam Cuthbertson. Apologies for that. But Brian McLennan has set his stall out to win the World Club Challenge for the second year in a row, and he knows that no team has ever achieved that before. This ground holds no fears for him. The Rhinos won here against Melbourne last year, and of course he won the Tri-Nations in the colours of New Zealand against the Australians just a couple of years ago. Brian Noble is our special guest here tonight. He won 3 world crowns as coach at Bradford. He's breathing a little easier now that Wigan's season is up and running following the win at Harlequins last night. Brian, can Super League reign supreme here again tonight?
I think it's really important that we focus on the fact that British clubs have had tremendous success in this competition. Manley may be a little bit undercooked. Please don't think I'm underestimating this Sea Eagles side. They're a terrific outfit, but Leeds have that winning desire. You've seen how they hang in games at the start of this season, and you've seen how they can win games from nothing and still play. Their talisman is back in Rob Burrow. He'll cause Manley some problems, and also Manley, whilst their arrogance, if you like, if that's an arrogance born out of ability, will come to the fore. They feel if they share the possession, they can win any game, but they may be just a little bit undercooked.
We shall see. They enjoyed a 34-26 victory in their warm-up game against Harlequins last Sunday. They won the last 6 of 2008 to take their first premiership in 12 years and their 7th in their 62-year history. Leeds Rhinos, back-to-back Super League champions. Phil, can they be back-to-back World Club champions?
Well, Leeds have only conceded 2 tries in 4 hours of competitive rugby league this year so far. It's a pretty outstanding defensive effort. but they haven't played against a side with the pace or precision of the Manley Sea Eagles to date. Do you know what? If you like this game and this sport played at high speed and high intensity, you're going to love this match, I can guarantee you. In the winger and the two wingers and fullback for Manley were 3 of the top 10 try scorers in the NRL last year. And I know that Manley will entertain. Leeds always do.
Well, they beat Melbourne Storm here 11-4 12 months ago in the wind and the rain. Now can they become the first ever to retain this World Club Challenge? 3 straight wins for the Rhinos at the start of Super League 14. They're unbeaten since September the 19th last year when they lost to St Helens in the playoffs. Their last defeat in the city at home was also to St Helens on the 20th of June, 26 points to 12. But Matt Orford, Steve-O, is the danger man.
It's an amazing stat to think that Matt Orford, classified as one of the best rugby league players in the world, has never ever played for Australia. It just shows you the depth that they have down under. And there is the referee, Jason Robinson, tonight. He will certainly have some sort of influence in regards to, will they allow them to lay on slightly? Different interpretations, but Leeds have been there, they've done it before. I'm sure their coach Brian McLennan would have had a nice little word in the ear of the referee, as no doubt Des Hasler has done the same. But I'm with you, Phil Clark, this will be a cracker.
Jason Robinson, the referee, blew 26 penalties last week at Warrington in his format match in Super League. We are underway, the World Club Challenge, and there is the first drive in from Kylie Lulawai, and I suppose how apt that Lulawai, the former Manly man, takes the first challenge from the Manley Sea Eagles. This, though, now is Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Rob Burrow is the dummy half for Leeds. He finds Maguire. Here is Peacock. And no one has a bigger British heart beating inside his chest than Jamie Peacock. Diskin at dummy half. Lulawai for Leeds. That's the 4th tackle. Leeds still inside their own half. Diskin once again. There's no Danny Badiris, of course. The new man out for a few weeks. He is injured. Kick from Sinfield will bounce and skip its way over the dead ball line eventually. David Williams was not interested in picking that up. He will take the 20 metres, restart it here on the 20-metre mark.
Not surprising, Leeds have opted to kick early in the tackle count. They went on the 4th. So important, Kevin Sinfield, in regards to the kicking game. We've seen it often in the grand final, and of course last year at the same ground, his kicking game was absolutely superb. They've got to try to keep turning this Manly outfit round and send them back towards their own line time and time again.
This match is being seen live in Australia on the Fox Sports Network, and all of the people down under will know that Manly's last defeat was August the 17th against South Sydney, 40 points to 32, one of just 7 defeats from 27 games they played last year. This is Glenn Stewart, great work, he's dropped it, and here goes Ryan Hall.
Quick thinking by Leeds there, loose ball, had it whipped away to the winger.
Nobody seemed to want to take control of that, but Maguire does for Leeds Rhinos. And here's a penalty for Leeds. Not standing square at the play of the ball.
Well, a golden opportunity there. Manly was in a good position. And they dropped it, no doubt about it. And
great tackle from Rob Burrow.
Was it ever? Interesting also is Brian McLennan has put Rob Burrow in a dummy half to get him well into the swing of things early.
Jamie Jones-Buchanan here now for Leeds. Diskin waits at dummy half. Rob Burrow, now Maguire. Lyon was the man who shot out of the line to halt Maguire. He plays the ball to Burrow. Now it's Keith Senior. Senior tried to outmuscle him, but oh, the pass is straight into the arms of Lyon. And Manley Sea Eagles have the ball back.
I'm not so sure that Lyon didn't call for that. It looked to me as though Keith Senior, the big centre, twisting and trying to get out of the tackle, would have got the call.
Maybe Jamie Lyon developed an English accent in his time at St Helens.
Looked to me it was gone. Yeah.
Just wonder if he did call for it. He'll know every Leeds player, of course, by name and by nickname. I'm sure of that. That was the dummy half Ballin. The ball is tipped inside. Last tackle here as Jason King went to ground. Kicked down the line and is picked up by Lee Smith. Still operating at full-back this year after his man-of-the-match performance in last year's grand final success against St Helens. Quick play the ball from Leeds. Here is Ryan Hall. Gets as far as Glenn Stewart and Chris Bailey.
This is where Leeds can really start taking control of the game, mainly due to the fact that Manley, they'll be a little bit rusty. They've only had one hit out, and really with their first great team, it was only in the second half against the Harlequins. So they'll be rusty early on.
Burrow plays the ball again to Diskin. Here is Maguire. He finds Sinfield. Sinfield goes wide, and it's with Ablett. Ablett is all tied up by Matai. There are two others there. Orford is in very quickly.
You talk about Carl Ablett, it's going to be a big night for him. He's got to keep an eye on one of the best centres in the world in Steve Matai.
Crossfield kick here high from Sinfield. But that was very easy for David Williams.
Got to be pretty careful of the Rhinos because they are really explosive. Both the wingers, David Williams, Michael Robertson there.
Here's David Williams trying the World Cup final for Australia against New Zealand. Back end of last year, here he is in possession again. The thing about tonight is though that last year when Melbourne were here, it was blowing a gale, the wind was horizontal and the rain was as well, and the pitch was quite greasy. It is perfect tonight, absolutely perfect conditions. Neither team can have any excuse at all about the weather.
You're right. There's one of the coaches, Des Hasler, he was very, very happy with the fact that it was dry, fast conditions. Leeds, as you know, they won last year in wet conditions, won the grand final in exactly the same.
That's a poor kick, straight into the arms of Ryan Hall.
I think we should give some credit to the Leeds players, Eddie, who actually put the pressure on Orford. He was the first kick option. More often than not, he will kick the ball, but if Leeds can get to contain him, it makes their life far easier when they have to return that ball.
Burrow again, he's in just about every dummy half position for Leeds, but he's just pushed out of the way here by Matt Diskin, as I say that, as Jamie Jones-Buchanan plays it on halfway. Here now is Peacock, and they know the danger of Jamie Peacock from his international experience with Great Britain and with England. Here now is Sinfield, good ball to Luluai.
Nearly got through, a good job that Orford went to him. Just getting back to Jamie Peacock, there's a bit of a doubt about his wrist.
High kick here from Danny Maguire, and he allows it to bounce this time, does Williams, and the ball bounces harmlessly over the dead ball line. Early impressions, Brian?
Leeds have obviously targeted Williams as the person to kick to. They think he may be a little bit unstable, maybe they've watched some footage, but they're doing also a great job of kick pressure on Orford. What they've got to do is keep the ball away from Manley. I think they're winning the field to Terry, and there's a penalty here that won't help them early on, which will give Manley field position. If they keep the ball away from Manley, if they make them work hard, they've got a fantastic chance this evening, Leeds.
Well, the tackle on Glenn Hall was deemed to be illegal by Jason Robinson, so that's why Manley have the penalty. Emmy's become the first Australian winners since the Sydney Roosters trounced St Helens at 38-0 in Bolton in 2003.
Well, another Manly club, they feel they're world famous, and it really does irk them to think that they have not ever won the World Club Challenge.
This is Josh Perry. On the second tackle, Manley are inside the Leeds quarter. That's Ballin, the dummy half. The runner was Bailey, and here now is danger with Lyon and Williams cuts inside, and Leeds muscle up and scramble back in defence and bring him down. Only 3 tackles gone though, they're very close here. And this is the other Stewart, it's Glenn Stewart.
Watch for Orford bringing someone back on the inside. Des Hasler knows he has the power. It's a kick to the corner.
It's a good kick, and it's almost a brilliant kick, but under pressure it was lost over on that far side.
Well, Leeds have certainly learned some lessons from last weekend. You know, Manley scored 2 tries, one with a high kick which Robertson caught and scored in the corner, and they scored a second try on the right wing when Williams went over on a very similar play to the one we saw in that set of 6. That was Manley at their best, but Leeds were able to contain them in the opening 10.
Leeds Rhinos champions 6 times in all: 1961, 1969, 72, 2004, 7 and 8. Oh, but Manley have got it back here with Stewart, and now Leeds have got it back with Jamie Jones-Buchanan. And it's a penalty. It's a penalty because Jamie Jones was in an offside position. He knew that immediately as well. He picked the ball up, and I think he thought the referee mightn't see it. He dropped it immediately. Look, bounces off somebody here, comes off Ryan Hall.
It was also touched by Rob Barrow. Not surprisingly, the skill factor from Manley, they wanted into the corner, not interested in taking the 2.
So here they come with Glenn Hall. He really has come good under Des Hasley's coaching at Manley at Brookvale Oval. And now it's a drive in from Josh Perry. Josh Perry getting so close to the line, and Leeds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there around the ball to keep him out. Right on the line, he plays it here to Ballin. It comes back to Orford. Short ball then from Orford. This is Anthony Watmo. Good defence again from Leeds. Ballin once again, looking for Orford and finds him. Orford then looks for the runners. It's Bailey for Manley.
Great tackle there by Buchanan. It had to be, it was a try-saver.
Orford to Lyon, he slips the net off the knees of Williams. 6 to go. Jamie Lyon claims, and the referee, Jason Robinson, agrees. They've got 6 more tackles here, Manley, and they're a metre away from the Rhinos' line. Now they're offside. Sinfield is quick, but he ain't that quick.
He needed to be Superman there. Took the jump, came in on the angle. He suspected that Manley were going to bring the ball back on the inside.
So Jason King will play the ball to Ballin. Here is Orford. This is Stewart, the fullback. They go wide to Robertson. Ablett does well, stands him up. And there was something that Matai saw there, and he's wagging a finger at Danny Maguire. He didn't like that. That's an awful pass. It's very scrappy from Manley. They have the ball, they retain the possession. There's something going on. Matai's still wagging a finger. And Leeds have got the penalty.
They just have a tendency, and it's sometimes to be too aggressive.
It's for dissent, all of this.
And that's the second one for dissent.
Well, you lose your concentration. They were in a wonderful position. They were applying the pressure. Full credit to the Rhinos. They were getting the sliding defence across, and you can see there that Matai, he's not interested in the game.
He thinks Maguire comes in with the knees, doesn't he? That's what his complaint is, to the touches first.
There's a bloke there with a whistle, Phil, and he's got to just concentrate on what he's paid to do, and that is play rugby league football.
Well, Matai and Keith Senior, they spent a time in the sin bin after a brawl in the 2006 Tri-Nations defeat for Great Britain in Wellington. And it looks like Matai is up for this. It looks like Manley are up for this, but that is a shoulder, and he left at him, Jason King, and that's why Jason Robinson has given the penalty. And another 10 metres gained forward for Leeds, because another bit of dissent from the Manley players.
Well, he's a bit confused, mainly due to the fact that he just put the shoulder in. I'm not so sure he raised the arm all that high.
Great chance, though, for Leeds, and here comes Jamie Peacock. Well, if anybody thought this was going to be touch and pass, the opening 11 minutes have proved them absolutely wrong. Oh, dear.
It's a knock-on.
It's a penalty for Manley. Someone was tackled without the ball, I think the referee's signal is. It's certainly a penalty to Manley. Well, he blew, as I say, he blew 26 times last week for penalties, and we've already had 9 in this World Club Challenge tonight.
Well, I'm not so sure that Manley want to get into an arm wrestle.
I don't think Leeds do either, Steve-O.
Well, it looks as though Leeds, they're coming out with the big guns, don't worry. They're having plenty to say to them.
Hold up.
If you can upset a man of the quality of Steve Matai's, shall we say, standing in rugby league.
Held 2. Move, Jamie up!
I don't think it's too difficult, actually, Steve, to upset Steve Matai.
Shortest fuse in the game.
They've been saying plenty, don't worry about it.
Move! 10's here!
Coming up to 12 minutes on the watch, then 0-0. And it's Glenn Stewart. That's a great ball to Lyon. Oh, and the pass from Lyon to Williams was behind the winger. It was dipping as well. It wasn't the best.
He was touched by a Leeds player. That's what the official, Jason Robinson, has said.
He must have got that call from the touch judge. He must have done.
Yep.
Got it right.
Ryan Hall just got the fingertips to it.
No, it's not.
More pressure.
You guys knocked him forward.
So Manley with the head and feet.
As in the modern game, no full-back there. Will they do a kick and chase?
Orford fires the pass to Steve Matai.
Help one. Move! 10's here!
A few handling errors early doors here as well, which is probably to be expected. The stakes are very, very high.
Move!
We know what some people in Australia think of the Super League competition, and Leeds are out to prove them wrong. That's a good strong run though here from Glenn Hall.
On 3, move. 10 and a half.
It's been a real forward battle so far. Not many opportunities, very few half breaks.
This is Bailey. Oh, brilliant ball round the corner. Lyon gets away from one. And loses the ball under the pressure from Rob Burrow. Well, I think we worked it out before. It's 15 weeks since Rob Burrow last played a competitive game.
You wouldn't think so, would you? He snaps at their ankles. I suppose when you look at the size of him, he's got no option, but he really does get low, doesn't he? Applies the pressure. Impact.
Heads down. Ball in, Rob.
Well, they're happy.
Out.
Leeds head and feed now, 20 metres away from their own line. Senior here. He's announced his international retirement as Keith Senior. Wants to concentrate on the latter stages of his career with the Leeds Rhinos. And that's Ian Kirk, who just had a little fumble. Manley seeing more of the football, but as yet not able to do much damage with it. Here is Lee Smith again for Leeds. Space is going to be at a premium tonight. It will take something to break these defences down, something very special. Maybe Diskin can provide it.
Good work. He's got him into a good field position. This is where they take control, especially if they can get a kick into the in-goal area, get the second set of 6.
It's with Burrow. Now it's with Maguire. They've lined up down this left-hand side. Senior helps it on to Ryan Hall. He cuts inside. Good work, though, in defence. It was Glenn Stewart moving back and helping out Jamie Lyon. Burrow, left-footed kick. He was after chasing that himself, but he got a bit of a collision there. But great work from Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Wonderful chase.
Great work, though, wasn't it, by Rob Burrow? Okay, didn't appear to be the best kick, but look whether they've left Manley camped down in their own quarter.
Here goes Lyon again. Jamie Jones and Rob Burrow dealing with that particular threat.
There's a problem out wide for Manley. It looks like Michael Robertson, I think, has picked up an injury way out there on the left.
I think it's the back row forward, isn't it, Watmore?
Either way, Manley...
That was Jason King we just saw there. Kick downfield. Lee Smith is after that and pouches it on the fly.
Not the best kick. Oh, good tackle, though.
Tremendous tackle from Chris Bailey. Chris Bailey, the former Newcastle Knights standoff half, 7 tries for Newcastle in 2008. He can also play in the back row. He's the new face of 2009 for Manley. He adds great versatility to them. Leeds are on halfway with Smith and Peacock. Burrow is flat out. Yep. Burrow has been knocked out here.
Yep.
I think it was a flying tackle from Watmo.
Just make sure
Didn't miss him, did he? Crunched him straight into the ground. Medics are on very, very quickly, which is right. And good work by the official. Jason Robinson stopped the game straight away.
I don't think it was. Do you think it was a dodgy challenge? Having seen it, I think Burrow's slipping, and I think...
Well, he's always pretty low to the ground, isn't he? It's...
I just wonder whether Watmo was onside. He was very quick.
Well, he is going to see when the ball's played. I think he is onside. It's probably just done too slow and rather predictable there from Leeds, wasn't it? That it was going to go behind the first man to the second. Rob Burrow couldn't get out of the way.
I think it's the shoulder that made impact.
Just checking it.
What say you, Brian?
Yeah, I think a couple of things there. It's a great read from Watmore. He's seen Burrow's going to get the ball out the back because it's a bit of a slow movement, and he's backed himself to get there. Let's bear in mind, Rob's not the tallest of blokes, and his defence mechanism comes into play as he tries to go a little bit smaller. So there is an element of a high tackle there, but it's not malicious. It's one of those things. I will say that the game has had a few of them. You know, they're getting into each other, aren't they? But we'll just hope that Rob's OK here. Well,
he's told the stretcher bearers he does not need them.
He's a tough hombre, that is for sure.
He's been involved in the season so far for 15 minutes and 54 seconds. As I said right at the start of this match, he is a little man, but his heart is massive.
And he didn't shy away with the responsibility. He was straight into this game very early. Some neat touches down the blind side. They're doing the right thing. Let him recover.
Yeah, just let him get the wind back in his sails. He's a great favourite in Leeds. Listen to the applause as he leaves the field.
Not just in Leeds either. All over the country they admire this fella.
Off he comes, and so Leeds will make their second change, and it's the long for the short, because Big Ali Lawatiti comes on, and Leeds did get the penalty. And they're lucky to get away with that, because that came off the legs of Matai.
To scrum.
And they will get head and feet at the scrum.
Well, you've got to praise Brian McLennan for trying something different, but this was intended.
It was.
But why would you try that? Because you're guaranteed the possession if you kick the ball out anyway, Eddie. There's a penalty.
Well, Brian McLennan, the coach, obviously, and the skipper, Kevin Sinfield, feels that they're going to come up with something. They have to come up with something good to beat such a quality side like Manley.
Something just a little bit different. Here's the man who has replaced Rob Burrow. Burrow about 5'4", Lawatiti about 6'5". This is Sinfield. Sinfield back to Lee Smith. He gets away from 2, he gets away from 3, Watmow it was, and then Orford and Watmow come back for a second snap. Maguire at dummy half. Now Peacock.
3.
Peacock's grounded on tackle number 3.
A little bit more running from Diskin, I feel. He's had a couple of raids through.
Sinfield and Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Oh, Senior couldn't take the pass in, and so Brett Stewart picks the ball up.
I'm not so sure that pass was on. To me, Senior had gone through the gap to reach down for it. Cannon sent it away. You could see he'd overrun it. Probably would have been brought back for a forward pass if he'd kept hold of it, and that'll be a penalty. Squeezed out by the big fella Ryan Bailey.
Well, penalty counts keeping going. It's the 11th penalty we've had.
Interesting to get back to the Anthony Watmow, the big hit on Rob Burrow. I couldn't see anything that was untoward, but the official Robinson gave Leeds the penalty for a high shot. Ooh, that was a high shot as well.
Yes, it was Ian Kirk who was a little bit straying with his challenge. Now, this is Glenn Hall. That's the third tackle for Manley, this set of 6.
I just get the impression neither side has settled.
Ballin. Oh, awful pass. And Brett Stewart picks up the pieces for Manley, retains possession for his side. Matai. Going to go down the short side. Head to head with Maguire, that's the last. The ball will be given some air here. Lee Smith's under it. Lee Smith claims it, and then he's trapped in goal. It's going to be a goal line dropout here.
Tremendous work by Jamie Lyon. Unbelievable. Soon as Orford launched that, Jamie Lyon came in from the angle from his outside centre position on the right and knew who to target.
Great catch from Smith, though, wasn't it? Under extreme pressure from those 2 maroon jumpers there. This will be a test for Leeds now.
That ball had snow on it when it came out of the sky. It was so high from Orford. Such hang time. Gave his players the chance to make the tackle. There's Des Hasler. Watching from on high here at Ellen Road, up here on the TV gantry, and he's watching as his standoff Chris Bailey tries the ball.
Normally when you get into the first...
I beg your pardon, that was George Rose. Sorry, Stephen.
I'm just saying that after you get past the first quarter, you normally sort of sense that one pack has got on top of the other, but neither so far.
Williams just a juggle from the pass from Brett Stewart. Ballin scampers into dummy half.
You've locked his arm in.
And he'll play the ball. This is Jamie Lyon. Now it's Josh Perry. Good hit. Good hit by Jamie Peacock. Orford, looping pass.
Oh, they're into it. They are really swinging. Peacock and Perry. There's no handbags amongst that lot, I'll tell you.
It's still going.
Oh, there's bullseyes in it.
Perry and Peacock, the 2 number 10s. We might need a boxing referee in a minute to count to 10.
Thank you.
Well, Orford was throwing a long ball, and these 2 were throwing long punches, and they were connected. Now, I can't see any claret at the moment. Oh, that was silly from Peacock.
He's no lover of Australians.
Join the queue.
I don't think Josh Perry was too impressed with the original tackle and had something to say.
Well, he went after him, did Peacock. You could see he had the elbow, and then he just threw one.
Tell you what, Perry hasn't missed yet.
No. I'd have to to give it on points to Perry.
It's
at the
not over,
moment.
it carries on, yeah, he gets his breath back and he's on again.
Okay, keep the put it up.
That was a good one. Oh!
What, 4-2?
You shouldn't be applauding that, Philip. We should be condemning it, but I know what you mean.
This is to become world champions.
Well, Jamie Peacock is going to have 10 minutes to contemplate in the bin, I think.
Thank you. You've heard the report. It's been babbling along. It's not going to keep happening. Good. Wrong colour.
Oh, he got the red out there and he said wrong colour. Thank goodness for that.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, mate.
Is he going? He said cool. Maybe they'll meet on the sideline.
Oh, listen, I know they call Matt Disking disco, but isn't that something you say on the dance floor? Cool or something? I don't know, I'm way out of this these days, but he's joined him. That's good refereeing as well. Just calm things down a little bit.
2 in the sin bin. The only man ever to be sent off in one of these events was a Manley player. It was Ron Gibbs way back in 1987.
He almost decapitated Joe Lyden, actually. That was how bad it was to be sent off, Eddie.
Well, Jamie Peacock has picked up a couple of blows there, as you can see from the blood that's flowing from the top of his head. It's a penalty to Manley at the end of all that.
Will they take the 2? This will be interesting. Maybe Des Hasler will say we like to calm things down a bit. No.
Now,
Let's apply the pressure.
this is going to be a brave man who takes it in first up, isn't it?
They line it up way out on that left-hand side.
It's Rose. He's still pushing and shoving round the ruck, there really is. That was Ballin, and here now is Rodney. 2 moves! Ballin waits a dummy half again for Manley. He will find Matt Orford, the engineer-in-chief. What? No! Important tackles all over there. Quick play the ball once more. They're over, I think. He is over, Brett Stewart. It's the first try to Manley. And Manley capitalise on the sin binning of Jamie Peacock and one of their players as well. But Brett Stewart gets over for the first try. He was 24 years of age on Friday. He is a prolific try scorer in the NRL. 92 tries in 112 appearances for Manley since 2003. And look at his record for last season as well. He's drawn first blood in the World Club Challenge.
Well, he's not noted for scoring tries at this calibre. Normally the 50-60 metres downfield is such a talent from that full-back position, but he's scrambled over like the best hooker in the world. Run from dummy half, they didn't expect that. Quick thinking there by the full-back.
Matt Orford lining up the conversion here to try and add the extras. This for a 6-0 lead. And 6-0 it is to Manley. Brett Stewart's try, converted by the captain. The Sea Eagles are ahead in the World Club Challenge. Both teams down by 1 man.
Look at the eyes, that's what Leeds were. They said he's going that way. No, he ain't. He's going to backtrack, go under it. They had the numbers. They should have squeezed him down. That was a great effort.
They have come to win it. There's no question of that. This is no holiday in the back end of the British winter for Manley. They've left the hot conditions back home. They've been here for a fortnight. They have played the Harlequins in a warm-up match, and now this is the real thing. Let's get some news of Rob Burrow. Bill.
Yeah, it seems ages ago that Rob Burrow was flat out, but he is thankfully sitting on the sidelines, looking a bit better, although pretty pale and shaken still is the word from the Leeds sideline. Still just keeping an eye on him. He was certainly aware of what happened, so he wasn't knocked out or anything like that, but he's still feeling a little bit fragile.
Don't blame him. That was brilliant run, meanwhile, while Bill was talking, from Matt Orford. Here is Bailey. Bailey will just dink that into the corner. And, well, I think they might have to... No, I was going to say I think they might just have to run this ball out, but the bounce beat everybody.
And the Leeds have had to work very, very hard here as the ball just bounces over the sideline here, probably to the relief of Lee Smith at the moment, to restrict Manley to just 1 try. The scramble defence near to their own try line, both on the left and the right, has forced them to work hard. Orford just makes that half break and is contained. But that amount And that style of defensive effort will drain Leeds. They'll need to get to the other end of the field soon. So little of this match has been played on the left half of this field.
Well, they were the first Australian club to take part in this World Club Challenge, that one that we mentioned, 1987, when Gibbs was sent off. They lost 8-2, there were no tries that day. Des Hasler, the current Manley coach, was in their side, and it was played in front of 37,000. Well, that's the official attendance, people who were there, and everyone in Wigan says they were there that night. I think the attendance was nearer 50, but anyway, there was 37,000 in the ground, and it was one of the great occasions of modern-day rugby league, and there are over 30,000 in here tonight to see this one.
Yeah, it was a tremendous night. You couldn't see a slate anywhere because they were sat in the rooms, they were all over the joint.
It was a fantastic night. And this has all the makings of being just the same, because Manley ahead by 6 points to 0 here. The great thing about this Leeds team, though, you know, of the 19-man squad that Brian McLennan named for this game, in the 19-man squad, along with Callum Watkins and Paul McShane, there are 10 Leeds-born players in their squad, 13 of whom have come through the ranks. Only 3 overseas players in the Leeds team tonight, the lowest number in a British team in this World Club Challenge. That's a fantastic testimony to the Leeds Rhinos club.
Fantastic is the word as well, with Kevin Sinfield just mopping up. They've had to work hard as the back three in Leeds. They've done some ground covering up on the tackle, and he's having a blinder, this kid.
And he's made another break, Lee Smith. They eventually scrag into the ground, but look at the amount of territory forward he has made. Scott Donald, once upon a time of the Manley club, to the halfway line.
He's so superb in fullback Lee Smith. We saw in the grand final last year. And he's equal to the task. He can pull it through. He's working overtime both in defence and attack. Manley have to realise they're going to go low on him. He's got great upper body strength, fends them away.
4 tackles gone, 10 metres inside the Manley half for Leeds with Maguire. He dabs it over the top, but that was very well read by the fullback. Surrender! Brett Stewart. Only Bobby Fulton with 129 tries, and Steve Menzies, who's now plying his trade in Super League at the Bulls, scored more tries for Manley than this fellow, and he's not a bad line of defence either.
Movement! He's not in a bad bracket, is he? Bobby Fulton, wow, one of the world's best.
Held 4 tackles gone for Manley in this set of 6, this latest raid on the Leeds line. Ballin will give it to Orford. Short ball from him then to Watmo, who skipped through the first challenge.
Beautiful step. The big second rower.
This is the last. Oh, straight up in the air almost from Ballin. He was given a long time
it's going to bounce
to kick that. Ryan Hall took an almighty gamble. Jamie Lyne was on him in a flash. Here is Lee Smith. Doesn't make much progress this time. Held 2.
The major factor is when it was high.
3.
You just can't allow them to do that. And Hall was so fortunate.
If you lock him in, I'm not going to penalise him. 4.
Luluai. There's Steve Menzies. With the Bradford Bulls in Super League. But here tonight, and I bet he's supporting Manley.
Held 5. Go.
Not many Manley fans in the crowd tonight. There are 1 or 2 notable exceptions.
Inside.
Sinfield with a high hanging kick. There are about 40 or 50 who have made the long journey to be with their club tonight on this auspicious occasion.
Surrender!
And I've spoken to a few of them, and boy, they're enjoying it, and they've been stunned by the weather.
Yes, quite spring-like after Siberia, start of the month, last month. Penalty here for Manley.
Well, Ablett can't believe it.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
But as you mentioned, Eddie, when Jason Robinson took his Super League game the other week, he was very happy to keep the whistle blowing.
Hold! Go.
Yes, Warrington against Catalan Dragons. You remember the great shot we had of Jimmy Lowe's waiting for him in the players' tunnel at the Halliwell Jones Stadium, and as he came past him, Jimmy Lowe's gave him one of his looks and just shook his head.
Little offer of advice.
Ballin to Orford. Oh, great ball!
Dallow
and
forward.
Watmo hits it at
It looked forward, and they've got away with it.
A fantastic try, though, Steve.
Yeah, I'm taking
a handful of, or a couple of the handful of Manley fans who are here. Anthony Watmoe, what a try, what a pass, and an abject lesson in how to run onto the football from Watmoe. He was on the ball and Leeds were on the back foot. Manley are ahead 10-0.
He's agile, is this fella, the big second row, Watmoe. But that looked forward to me. It was a delayed pass. And as far as I'm concerned, they've got away with it. Look at this. Boom. That was drifting, but take nothing away from the skill of this fella. We saw a few moments earlier. That's forward, but it has not been seen. Not that Anthony Watmoe will worry about it. He's such a creative genius, isn't he, Matt Orford? He really makes this tick. And I think, I'm not sure, but I think Des Hasler is quite happy about it all.
And I think Des Hasler has come over here to take the World Club Challenge trophy home. He is very serious about the business in hand here tonight. Orford, whose pass opened up the Leeds defence, now adds the extras. It's 12-0 to the NRL Premiers, and the Super League champions have it all to do.
They just can't get possession, and they can't get possession in their opponent's half of the field, and that's really what's been difficult. With both teams down to 12 men, Eddie, there were bound to be more spaces in the defensive line, and the team that has the ball and the skill have been able to find them.
Leeds restart, and here is Shane Rodney again. 10 minutes to half-time. It's a crucial 10 minutes as well for Leeds. But Brian, they mustn't let Manley score again if they can help it.
And I think they're not helping themselves. You know, we've had a couple of errors at the top half of the field, as Phil's saying. They need a really good defensive set here and try and restrict Manley's territory and then get up to that end of the field themselves. A couple of errors compounded by a couple of penalties. Don't give the team in maroon a little bit of field position, because they'll do that. Irrespective of whether it was forward or not, that last try, Mike, I tell you what, it was a terrific haul that he hit. And he went at a full pace as well. Nobody was going to stop him, were they?
No, you can't take that away. He's a talent. He's very light on his feet for a big fella. There's nothing better than to run out wide on that left-hand area.
Both teams, by the way, now back to 13 men, the two prop forwards. Peacock and Perry are back after their spell in the sin bin. There he is. Here's Senior. This is Maguire, but
haven't seen much of him, have we?
Nowhere for them to go. They're picking up the ball here and they're standing still when they receive it. Peacock escapes the clutches of Cuthbertson.
Great work there.
Diskin, good ball to Senior now. Diskin again.
Leeds realise they've got to come up with something.
Jamie
This should be the break.
Last one, though, for Leeds. He was looking for a penalty there, Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Sinfield under pressure, just hoists the kick. Stewart is after it and claims it. High ball gets him.
He had time there to make a cup of tea. No protection, but either way. You know, when we were watching this Manley outfit against the Harlequins last week, Eddie, the one thing that really impressed me was the way that they can control the ball. They seem to have this ability to get over the halfway line, and then when they get in the opposition half, they know exactly how to just keep turning the team around. And that's what they're doing. Oh, he's off.
Brilliant. Brilliant on the feet again from Watmoe. Stewart's on his inside. He's dropped it.
Can't believe it.
That could have been curtains for Leeds.
And that could see it all turn around. How many times over the years have we seen it when we could have just bottled it all up, put the stopper in and said, give us a trophy? That could just see a complete turnaround. Brilliant stuff. Watmoe and Stewart has bombed it.
He can't believe it. Leeds played their big get-out-of-jail card there. Oops, and Burgess has just dropped the get-out-of-jail card.
Well, they've been battered into submission, haven't they, in the opening half an hour of this game. I think Manley have had almost 3 times as much possession in their opponent's half, and I guess that's part because they've worked so hard defensively to fall the sort of mistakes. Look at Watmoe there, skipping off that left foot so well, finding a nice soft pass inside to Stewart, and well, it was just too easy for him.
Heads down.
Amazing that a man of that
Heads
quality, but it does occur.
Back, please.
We saw last night down in London. Mano was heading towards man of the match. Chad Randall came up with throwing an intercept, and it just turned the game around. It's amazing how things like that can just put a negative into the heads of this side. Will Manley be professional enough to overcome it?
Cuthbertson gets the ball away. It's Watmo again. He takes the tackle from Callum Watkins, who's out there now. Fascinated to see how Watkins stands up to this massive challenge here tonight. Good hands. Lyon. He has got Williams. Maguire did well. He forced him back on the inside. Tackle's not completed. Now it is.
There's obviously a problem, you know, with Danny Maguire. He's having to play right out on the wing on this left angle.
Look out, here is Orford. Here is Matt Orford. Now it's with Cuthbertson again. Good hands again from the forwards. It's the prop forward, Josh Perry. Now Bailey. And Bailey trying to go alone. The ball comes back.
Play on. Always played the knock on.
Tackle there. He was on
On the last, okay.
Hold up.
Well, they did well, Leeds, to scramble back. They were in all sorts of trouble, but
Step back.
that defensive line, Brian McLennan, the Leeds coach, is having to squeeze out Danny Maguire on that left-hand area.
And you can't scramble like that for 80 minutes. You see the fatigue now starting to fit in. The work they're having to do in defence, the number of tackles they made, almost twice as many as the opponents. And now that just energises Manley here. Now look how fresh they are, moving forward, containing leads. You know, last year in the NRL, Eddie, in all games, Manley in the third quarter scored 4 points for every one they conceded. They blew the teams away after half-time. And Leeds need something special now to hang on, and some magic juice at half-time.
There was an ironic cheer went round the ground then when Jason Robinson gave Leeds the penalty. Watmo the culprit.
They need something special, Leeds, and they've got to come up with maybe something different. Hitting big and Manley, that is for sure. Oh,
well, he was directing traffic then, Jamie Jones Buchanan, and he wasn't watching as the ball came in. It bounced off his foot, and he was lucky to keep hold of it. There he is again at dummy half. This is Peacock. Now it's Maguire. Oh, Lee Smith has put that down. It went backwards though, but they've lost ground. Ryan Hall is tackled by Lyon and Williams. Did well to retain the possession for the Rhinos there. Smith again.
Held for.
That's the fourth. Lee Smith, of course, who got man of the match in the grand final. And he featured for England in the World Cup. He got a hat-trick against Papua New Guinea in Townsville in our only victory. We didn't really see him again much after that. He was injured.
That's tremendous defence, tremendous pressure. Oh, they've nearly got away with it.
They have got away with it. Maguire! Maguire for Leeds! Maguire will get over for Leeds. Will he? Oh, maybe not.
He's lost
Put it down yet.
It's stolen. This will be classified as a dropout, I feel.
But it depends. It depends how it came back, because Maguire was trying to put the ball down, and then there was a Leeds player who came up in support. The ball comes around for Jamie Jones Buchanan. That's okay, I think.
Well, Maguire was pushing. Has he been pushed off the ball? That's what he's got to say. Has Glenn Stewart been pushed away from the ball, but Maguire doesn't get it down. This is wonderful from Orford.
It's Jamie Jones Buchanan who's following up.
I think he loses it. He loses it.
Yes,
what a wonderful effort by Matt Orford.
Look there, that's a try, isn't it?
Yeah, but has it gone forward? Oh, it's come off. If it sneaked it, yeah, you're right.
Has it gone backwards off?
Matt Orford can't pull it out, then the ball come this way, Eddie. Danny Maguire must have lost that ball. That can't be a try.
Yeah, I'm with you, Phil.
What's your opinion, Brian?
I think they're going to give a try. I think they're going to say Matt Orford's been involved there and he's tried to pass the ball backwards. If this comes out here from a backwards motion, I think they'll adjudicate a try.
Well, Orford is trying to stop Maguire from scoring the try, and you can see Maguire has deliberately reefed the ball back. So, in my opinion, Maguire's made the motion, which will be classified as a knock-on. Steve Ganson is the video referee for all you back in Australia. Probably remember the World Cup final with, well, I wouldn't say with a smile on your face.
They will in New Zealand. I think this is going to be given.
What about the pace of Orford there to catch Maguire from the side angle?
Here's Steve Ganson's decision, the try for Leeds. Jamie Jones-Buchanan gets the try. Maguire was robbed of the ball by Orford on the ground behind the line. The ball came out, and following up was Jamie Jones-Buchanan, and he gets the try. Well, it was Maguire and Buchanan who forced the error, and it was Maguire and Buchanan who have produced the 4-pointer. Well, we go back to that Brett Stewart fumble with the line at his mercy not too long ago, and we did say then was that a big turning point. Well, instead of being 18-0 down, Leeds might just turn round 12-6 down.
It wasn't the best kick. He was put under a lot of pressure by Anthony Watmo, but it turned out okay in the end. Des Hasler will be thinking, well, what about the obstruction, the pushing on Glenn Stewart, the loose forward? It didn't matter. Steve Ganson said that was okay. That's a controversial try. Oh, he's missed it.
Well, that's not Kevin Sinfield-like at all. He eats those, he gobbles those up for breakfast. So it's 12-4, not 12-6.
Kicking accuracy, Eddie, drops when you start to fatigue, and I think that that's a reflection of the amount of the work Kevin Sinfield and his Leeds teammates have had to do to prevent Manley from scoring even more tries. Great, though, comeback there when they've been on the ropes for the last 30 minutes. You rise your luck in sport, they've just had 4 points of it.
They needed it.
Oh, hang on, this could be sailing out on the full. Lee Smith did well then, but I wonder if he'd have left that, whether that would have gone out on the full. I think it might have done, you know. It would have done, definitely.
It's pretty hard, though, to make a decision when the ball's coming down to you.
Absolutely.
With 30-odd thousand screaming in your ear. Well, there's a little bit more zip in this Leeds outfit at the moment.
A minute to go to half-time.
And it's worth taking another gamble, maybe just to chip over the top with the likes of Maguire.
This is Peacock.
In a good position. No full-back at home at the moment for Manley.
That's the last one.
Still no full-back.
Sinfield jinks away from the despairing tackle of Lestrange and nips it towards the corner. Ryan Hall was after it. Brett Stewart took the gamble, allowed it to cross the whitewash. This will be head and feet at the scrum to Manley.
Not a bad kick, was it? Took the option there, Stewart. Took an eternity to get back into position. Good job that they applied the pressure on Sinfield, but that's how it came about, their first try. It wasn't the best kick from Kevin Sinfield, but it certainly came up trumps.
But it could have been so different, couldn't it? It could have been 18-0, as it is. We're now 12-4 as we approach half-time. Just about enough seconds on the clock for one tackle here. And there it is. Ryan Bailey was seeing to it that nobody was going anywhere. Jamie Jones-Buchanan with the try for the Leeds Rhinos after first Brent Stewart and then Anthony Watmo had scored tries in the opening half hour to give Manley a 12-0 advantage. But then those two players combined, Watmo with the break and Brett Stewart. Stewart dropped the ball with the line at his mercy. That would have been 18-all and maybe curtains for Leeds. As it is, they fought back. Two men in the sin bin in the first half, Peacock and Perry. It's a great World Club challenge here at Ellen Road. It's Leeds 4, Manley 12.